Hello, welcome to the week one first lecture. We had already done a quick overview of this unit, and this is the same slides from our overview lecture, which is being pre-recorded and available online, which shows how the unit is being divided into key elements, the operation part and the project management. The key topics are shown where you can see all the 12 weeks chapters and lecture titles for both operation and project management. We have also discussed quickly the two assessments to cover 40 and 60% of the total worth of the overall unit grade. However, let's start our first lecture in the context of operations management. This is very interesting when we talk and introduce this this part of this first introductory chapter of this unit about the introduction to projects management. We will also discuss operations management within business system and business domain. However, we will be talking, giving examples from the business management, business general administration. We're going to talk about the operation in context of different sector of the businesses. We will be covering health, education, aviation industry, and then the key functions, accounts, marketing, human resource. So these are all the important elements that we're going to cover in this 12 weeks discussion. So the first important question comes when we start our chapter, and this is the question we ask from ourselves: what exactly is operation management? So you will see there this is a word operation used in our daily life in different forms and different formats, but operation management is basically the administration of business practices to create the highest level of efficiency. It is also possible within any organization, either it's a manufacturing organization or it's a service organization. So according to your textbook from SLAC 2014, it is believed that operation management is the activity of managing the resources which are devoted to the production and delivery of products and services. So here you can see this is very important, resources. When we talk, there are any organization, any business cannot be run without having appropriate and the availability of adequate resources. So we have resources in form of financial resources, human resources. For example, we need resources as a infrastructure, all that include the physical resources, all tangible resources, the material, machinery, equipments, vehicles, the building, the offices. So all the fixtures and the furniture, so they all become part of the resources. And then we have intangible resources in the organization to manage for the enhanced efficiency and productivity. And this intangible resource is information, the data. So we will be talking more in this unit. The data is very, very important. How we collect data, how we manage data, that is one of the very valuable resource of the organization, and how we can use a big data analytics to get the best out of the business operation. So operation management is basically a set of activities, a set of processes, and it is concerned with the converting material and labor into goods and services as efficiently as possible to maximize the profit of the organization. So when we say business system, yes, the business system, here we are talking any business has a number of functions to be converting its either it's offering services or they are making any product, manufacturing a product. Then they need various elements or functions become part of the business system, and without this important business system which will not be possible to run business efficiently. So business systems are comprised of the collection of contiguous business processes connecting workflow together to provide a valuable proposition that deliver the broader purpose of the business system itself. So business systems are frequently identified by their department name, such as we can see finance and account, human resource, research and development, production and operation, customer services, information technology and IT or ICT support, sales and marketing. So this is where we come up with the idea that how businesses can achieve their set objectives, and what are the key components, or we can say different departments are required to run the enterprise. The key functional area of the business. So when we look into this graphical illustration, you can see the three most important functions in any business includes the operation itself. So operation basically helps, as we talked earlier in the previous slide, converting input into output. So input can be number of resources, we have manpower, we invest money, financial resources, we have all the fixture and furniture, equipments, all material. Depends, it is a service organization or manufacturing organization, but operation is a very important key functional area of the business to convert input into output. For example, if it's a manufacturing organization, so we can require a lot of resources, material, people to make, for example, if it's a birthday cake, a bakery, so they convert, have number of ingredients, they collect raw material, they process them, and then they make a cake for customer to be delivered or can be collected. So this is one of the example where you have to provide the product and you produce or you convert input into output. And then you take the example of service organization. Let's say you have a bank where different people have to go for banking, and the people in the bank, they provide you services. So they're not manufacturing any product, rather they help you out in your finance and accounts. So then the other important function, any business cannot run without selling, so sales and marketing. So they advertise and they promote their product or their services. And then of course, product, service and development is becoming one of the key important functional area for business, where product or services need to be initiated, they have to be designed, they have to be developed, and then they have to be offered for customer or end user or consumer. So the key functional area, we can see to further elaborate all the three important functional area in this tabular illustration. You can see column 1 shows the core functional area, which includes the product or service development, operations, and then marketing. So what is the key examples here? You can see fast food chain, for example. You take example of McDonald's, or for example you take example of KFC. So the fast food, how we can see what product they make. They make burger, pizza, for example. We also know that their operation is basically converting the ingredients to make the finished product, and then they have to serve the customer. That's the part of operation, and maintain the equipments for maintenance reason. And then yes, they need marketing as a key function for this business. They are doing fast food, but they need to make advertisement. They may be using electronic media, or they are using other promotional channels, or they are doing direct marketing or digital marketing, or they are using indirect marketing, for example. And then we take the example of international aid charity, that is non-government, let's say non you can say profit organization, and they are doing for social cause. So how they do their enterprise, how they develop, what functions working. So they have to develop a new appeal campaign, for example, or they have to design new assistance program. And then what are the key operations here? They will be giving services to the beneficiaries of the charity, for example, the people they're deprived or they're in need. So this is what they have to get the help from one end and provide to the needy. And then yes, they have to advertise, they have to develop the fund, they have to do fundraising event, they have to do they make appeal and to collect donation, for example. And then you can see the third one of the key of example here from real life is, let's say, internet service provider. This is a IT company, so they also exactly have to do a product or service to offer, and then they need a key function of for their business to run operations, and they have to have all the maintenance for their software and hardware, and also implement new links for services. And then of course it is important that they have to promote their services by marketing and sales and marketing, and they advertise and do promotion. So the operation management, how we transform input into output, we look into this transformational model, and we look into the other key tools that can clearly shows how operations management help businesses to convert input into output. So material, for example, we say resources, and we also say information is part of the input. We need to know what customer want, what is the market trend, what is the demand in the market, and then what facilities and people, human resources we have to engage, both skilled and unskilled or semi-skilled, in the process of converting input into output. So we design the product we have or the service we offer, and then we implement through planning and control as our key important processes in place. And then of course the operation has to achieve the strategic objective, which is the overall goal of the business to achieve for its existence. And then through the process to convert input into the final product or the service that we offer is basically make customer happy. And this is the old transformation model graphically illustrated here, that how the tools and techniques can be applied in operation management to convert or transform input into output. So the transformation model for the operation management you can see in this graphical illustration is further elaborated. Then we have input resources, and you can see what are the input transformed resources and the input transforming resources. So of course transformed resources, we need raw material. There can be range of material, depend on the nature of the business and the nature of the product and service. And then of course information is a key resource, and the data, the right information at the right time for the right reason make a big difference for the business. And yes, we need to know what customer want, where is our customer, what they demand, what is the order being placed to fulfill that order. And then to do this, transforming resources are required, the human resources, the skilled people, and then the facilities, the equipments, the machinery, that's all have to be in function. So the environment where we work, it can be either, let's say, take the example of restaurant, we use all these input resources, or take the example of manufacturing plant, or take the example of aviation industry, aeroplane, or airport, for example, how they use these resources and create an environment to transform and provide the end result to end services to the end users or consumer or customers. So the product or services is the output is basically demanded to be bought or used or consumed by the end users as customer. So the model, it's showing in one end we have input, and we have all these key important elements of the input, which includes the material, facilities, machinery, finance, and the data and information. And then we transform through manufacturing plant. We use transportations, we use vehicles, we use supply chain, we use different services here. It can be a very niche service, or it can be service as per the requirement to convert or process, to complete the process of transformation. And then we get the finished product, that is the end product. The good, it can be a good as a product, or it can be the end service as a consultation, let's say, or as a education, or as a health consultation, and then of course reputation of the organization, and then how they manage waste as the output of the if it's eco-friendly and sustainable development. So this is all important corporate responsibilities when we are running a business to transform or use the transformation model, converting or transforming input into output. So the product and services, we basically say here that how we differentiate in different nature of businesses. So we have a range of organizations. They offer a number of businesses or range of businesses, and sometime we are looking into how they take the example of different businesses and how they work. So for example, we can see these 4 different businesses, including the Preda Manga, for example, Akia, Acme Vessels, and the Mugwasi Safari Lodge. So these are different nature businesses. So one is doing, let's say, the Akia is very famous for the home furniture. Preda Manga or Preda Manga is basically a coffee shop. And then we can see how on the left column we see that the different resources we have to transform in the and we get. So the crude oil production, for example, aluminum smelting. So this is the one of the key components we are using, or the elements in the when we say Acme vessels, and how they produce it. So then when talk about the Preda Manga, for example, is a restaurant comes as a part of the business, and they have the information system provider, a management consultancy, and the psychotherapy clinic. So we use, for example, the different range of product in consultancy. So we can see here that the pure product is coming from the crude oil or the aluminium when they are using a manufacturing plant. So there's a pure product as an outcome that are exclusively tangible. But there can be a business which is not purely a product business, but it's a combination of both product and service. So let's say McDonald's, or you take example of KFC, or you take example Costa Coffee, Preda Manga, and Starbucks. So they give you a product but also give you a service. So the mixture of product and service output that are mixture of the tangible and intangible elements. So you have information, you know what menu is there, what you have to choose. Especially you go to a restaurant and then you get the product, but then process it for you, but also serve you. And then we have the Mogwasi Safari Lodge, for example. It's pure service. They have not doing any product. So you go to any safari lodge, or you go to any service organization, so the output are exclusively intangible. You get the experience, you just get the entertainment, and this can be a kind of let's say health consultancy, or a psychotherapy clinic, or you go to any event or concert, or for example any stage or drama show, and you get the time, you have entertainment, and what you get, that's just the service. So flow of the information is very important here. So we can see that the information need to be provided for the right services and the right product. So there is a need of different processes to be in place, and the different level of the supply network, for example, to the level of operation and the level of the processes itself, we can see different layer of information, and it can be shown in a graphical flow chart or graphical diagram, where how the information can flow between different processes, different resources, and different part of the within the operation transformation from input to output. We have to manage this information. That has to be quite important key for our success. So we need to unlock the success of the organization to be more productive. So we need to find the right information at the right time for the right reason, and then you can make the right decision. And that is very, very important for the business. So information management is the collection of storage, and also the creation of the and dissemination, archiving, and destruction of the document, images, drawings, and other sources of information. So that is very important, that we need to deal with the information. When we are managing information, it is concerned with the harnessing and making good use of scattered data within an organization, and it is supply chain partners. So we have the information which comes from the market need or the customer demand, and how we transform our apply different processes in place and transform input into output to meet the need of customer. So how this information is required, the demand of the market or the customer need, how to fulfill it, where the information comes from, how you predict and forecast the fluctuation in demand and supply, and then how we can ensure that the product and services offered is quite competitive and the business enjoying its productivity and success. So data, information and knowledge is the continuous transformation, that how data change itself into information, and then how information become more useful when we apply information and it becomes in action, and that is very, very important as a part of knowledge. So raw data is described, which describes the product, customer, event, activity and transaction that are recorded, classified and stored. And in very simple understanding, we say data can be any raw facts and figure, the data which is not refined or it is not being properly organized, and it can be any number or any facts and figure. So we need to process this data. So when the raw material, just like a raw material, so data is very raw in its form, it can be captured by different mean and in different form. It can be text form, numeric, non-numeric, it can be in audio, video, graphical shape. So then we transform this data, we process it, organize it, and the information is the process, organized, or put into context the data with meaning and value to the recipient or the end user. And then when we apply this information and information become in action or information in context that we are applying to make certain decision, or we take certain action. So knowledge is conveyed, information is applied to a current problem or activity or address any issue. So this is the different level of information which moves from operation to the different process and resources to manage. So data in different silos, we have huge data coming from different stream. So stand-alone data restores not accessible by other information system that need data, cannot consistently be updated. So we use them in different silos, that's data. This exists usually due to a lack of IT architecture, only support single function and do not support cross-function need. So that means the data in silo is quite in a separate domain, or they are not integrated or consolidated, so they are not giving us a very clear information or very useful, it is not in this very useful form. So if the data is in silos, they are separated and they are not integrated, or they are not giving us a full use of the reformed form of data, which we call information, then there is a issue with the complete setup of the information system or the business system infrastructure that needs to be refined or updated. So we are looking here that the information required is basically in different form, or collected the data in raw material form or raw form, so we understand the relevant, timely, accurate to be secure. So we go from, for example, we have a data coming from customer facing silos. There's a different form of data to be collected. For example, the payment, billing, invoices, support, customer support, after sales support, technical support, and then we have operation silos which can design and then have to transport or deliver, design and then build and develop, and then again do the supply to the end customer. And then when we talk about the sourcing silos, we know there are going to be different parts to be replenish or the procuring to place order for procurement. So how we can do that, not just each one separately, there will be a lot of things. Can we integrate them? So the data type, customer data, for example, the product, the procurement, the contract, the order itself, the design and the supply chain, transportation and logistics. So this all information need to be coming at one place instead of they are in silos or separately to really address the business need. So that business system need to be in place for enhanced efficiency and effectiveness in operation management. So what is the benefit of information management then? So we have to do the policies in place, the procedures, the right technology, tools and technique with the skilled people that they understand how they can get the best out of it for improved decision and quality. That is one of the key benefits from the information management to be in place for business system. It improves the accuracy and reliability of management predictions, which is again very, very important for the business success. And it helps to reduce risk of the non-compliance, and then you have to get the information which is available for regulations and compliance, and you avoid if there is anything which is more risky, and then reduce time and cost. When the right information is there, then it can help to make the right decision, which helps to reduce the time as well as obviously the expenditure. So when we go for overview of our discussion, the unit we have said earlier is divided in two parts. It has operation part and project. Please, as advised before, look into the unit structure document which is available on the Brevo, and you will see all 12 weeks chapters and key title of the lectures and workshop and seminars. And then yes, you can look into the assessment part and when they are required to be submitted and what is the nature of assessment. You can look into the unit information form. We call it UF on the again available on the Brio shell. I'm again suggesting and I'm advising, please be active in your discussion forum with your workshop, tutorial and seminars that you will be doing each week, and there will be number of questions raised and different topic for discussion. Please do ask questions on the discussion forum or share your thoughts and ideas. That will be always encouraged. So this is so your core textbooks and some other recommended books as a reference for your further reading and your understanding. I wish you all the best, and we will talk again in the next following week one chapter on project management.